Hey everyone, welcome to your midday love break. I'm going to wait for a couple people to hop on here. I strategically was a few minutes late just in case some people were right on time. No, I'm just kidding. I was running a little bit late trying to get everything all set up so that we can have a really epic conversation today about how to argue without being a jerk or losing your shit. You know, this is a topic that so many people struggle with when it comes to relationships, whether you're married, long-term, dating, whatever it is. Conflict happens, arguments happen. I'm a firm believer that conflict can actually be a connecting point in a relationship. I believe that conflict actually helps us recalibrate, because if you think about it, if we're arguing about something, more than likely it's because it's important. Something matters to us. So we're arguing our point. We're trying to be heard. We're trying to be understood. So, like I said, we're going to be talking about how to argue without being a jerk or losing your shit. I'm trying to see if people are popping on. Okay. Not quite yet. As soon as we get some people on, I'm really excited because I have invited some people to come on live and join us today. A really neat feature of these Facebook Lives is you can actually come in live, like on camera, on video. You can ask questions. You can share things that have worked. I have invited some colleagues to come and join us over the next couple weeks, and just for you guys to get more information. Yes, I'm the happy couple expert, but I also know that I don't know it all. So there's that. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Robyn D'Angelo. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist here in Southern California. I'm the founder of the Happy Couple Expert. And it is my goal and my passion to help couples master the messiness of couplehood together and create those epic relationships that we all so much want in our lives. And in doing that, I bring to you these weekly midday love breaks just to encourage all of you to take a moment out of your day, one day a week. I'm hoping it's more than that, but one day a week. It's 12 noon here on the East Coast, 3 o'clock on, the West Coast. Wow, I was just thinking of all my New York people. 3 o'clock on the East Coast. And I do this once a week, so I'm hoping you can join me every week. And if you're watching the replay, soak it in. Grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, get out your phone, make some notes, because this is going to be a lot of great information. Every week I'm bringing you guys tips and tools and strategies that you can implement in your relationship today. Real-time stuff, things that work. So how's that? How's everyone doing today? I'm really excited about this topic. I'm going to talk to you guys about two things specifically. Number one, we're going to go over mindset and talk about, first of all, what is mindset? I know a lot of people kind of throw that word around like it's this, it's this topic that maybe we don't really know what it means. We just hear it a lot of woo-woo people, if you will. It's in the yoga communities. There's also a lot of the mindset language in business communities as well. So we're going to cover mindset. I'm going to give you guys a really specific formula to have conversations in a new way so that it really lowers your chances of being a jerk or being viewed as a jerk or just losing your shit. Does that sound like something you guys would like? Is some tools that will drastically improve the quality of your conversations and arguments and conflict? I'd say yes. So let's jump right in, and I want to invite everyone as you're watching this, if you're here with me live, and if you have a question, put it in the comments. I can see who's popping in. I can see comments. I think they're a little delayed, so bear with me. And if you want to hop on live and ask a question, I just ask that you are dressed, at least from the waist up. And you have a question or a comment that is in line with the topic that we're talking about today. So let's get right to it. I'm keeping an eye on my clock. I have my notes here because I want to make sure I stay on track. Those of you who join me for these live feeds and for these midday love breaks, I could talk about this stuff for days, weeks, months even, because it's so important to me, and it's information that can change your relationship. So I don't want to overgive, but I also want to give you just enough that you can go and put this stuff into play into your relationship today. So grab a pen and paper if you need to, get something to take notes with, and let's dive in. So the first part of being able to have arguments without being a jerk or losing your shit is mindset. And you know, it can be really confusing to understand what exactly is mindset, right? What does that mean, Robyn? And I was Googling because I wanted to look for a really great definition, and there's so many different definitions, but I found a couple that I just squeezed them together and kind of made up my own definition. And it's basically, it's the way that we sort out information that we have gathered by assessing our surroundings, memories, education over the years, life experiences, and then deciding what we're going to do. So it's what's going on around me, taking all the information that I already have in my brain, and then deciding what am I going to do about it, right? So our mindset is a really, really beautiful thing because it helps you to spot opportunities. Hey, Heather, thanks for joining us. It also helps us to notice dangers or notice threats to whatever it is that we are trying to accomplish. And I have a story for you guys that I just love sharing because it was so monumental in shifting my mindset. And I was in Bali, Indonesia. This was back in 2014, and I was there on just a self-growth trip. I was there with one of my girlfriends, and at the end of our trip, and we're all zenned out, and we've done all of our yoga and our personal development, we decide to go to another part of the island and just hang out and eat great food and go to the beaches. Well, one of the private beaches we wanted to go to, we could either take a taxi or take a taxi. And as you may or may not know, in Bali, the taxis are all scooters. I mean, there's cars there, but everyone is on a scooter. And I am terrified of this because have you guys ever seen the traffic that is happening in Bali? It's very similar. I've been to India and Cambodia, and it's very similar. There's people zooming around, and it looks like it's chaos, okay? It just looks terrifying to me. As someone who loves organization and rules and structure and boundaries, seeing people zoom in and out and honking horns and it's loud, and that gave me anxiety. That made me nervous. But my girlfriend said, Robyn, we are in Bali. When are we ever going to be back? You're getting on that damn scooter. And I said, okay, fine. Lana, if you're listening, thank you because you made me do this. Anyway, as we're driving through the city, going to this really secluded beach, I'm holding on tight to this driver, and we get there, and I just thanked him for keeping me safe. And I said, I just have to ask. I said, it seems like chaos. It seems like there's no rhyme or reason. There's no rule. And yet, no one's getting in accidents around me. You guys are zooming in and out. I don't understand. I said, tell me, how do you guys do this with such a perceived sense of ease and peace and just being in control? But it's almost like having a loose grasp of the wheel. And he looked at me and he smiled. He was probably in his, 50s. And he said, oh, you Westerners. And I thought, I got to remember this. This is probably going to be a great learning moment. I said, you Westerners are so focused on the problems. You guys are so focused on what to look out for. You're so focused on what to stay away from. He said, the way we successfully drive, the way we move in and out through traffic and through our streets is we are constantly looking for opportunities. We're looking for the opening. He said, you're on your scooter and you're driving and you're literally going, and I'm going to scoop into that opening and I'm going to move into that opening. He said, constantly all we're looking for and assessing and identifying and getting to are openings, are opportunities. We're not worried about, oh gosh, watch out, or oh, stay away from that. And you guys, this blew my mind. This absolutely blew my mind. And for those of you that are just popping on here, go back and watch this from the beginning. I just told a great story about opportunity and mindset. But that changed everything for me. It helped me to realize that if I can focus on what it is that I do want, what I'm working toward, what I'm moving toward, those openings, I will probably have a smoother ride with less collisions. And I won't be so focused on my fears. I won't be so in tune with what am I worried about. I'm focused on what it is I want. And that, like I said, that has stuck with me ever since that conversation with that gentleman in Bali, because it just changed everything about my mindset. So I really encourage you guys to think about mindset, because, and I don't know if you've heard this before, but I've heard, and the statistic may be totally wrong, but I've heard everything we do, 90% of it is about mindset. And like today I'm wearing, I don't know if you can see this, I'm wearing this Tiffany's necklace. This Tiffany's necklace, as you can see, it has a little swoosh on it because it's through Nike. And I have run a number of the Nike women's half marathons. And when you run one of those, instead of getting a medal at the end, you get a Tiffany's necklace because they sponsor it. And it always says a little something on it about the race, but this was the 10-year anniversary of this race. And, you know, when I think about mindset and about running, oh, those of you, if you run out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That really focusing on getting to that finish line. And if I have to take breaks, I have to take breaks. If I need to get water, I need to get water. If I want to book it up that hill, I'm going to book it up that hill. But I constantly have to be in check with my mindset. If I get to a point where I'm telling myself, I can't do this, this isn't worth it, I'm probably going to stop the race. Or I'm going to finish feeling really terrible. And this is the same when it comes to arguments. There's something in business called the growth mindset. It's the same thing. It's about, do you have a mindset of opportunity? Do you have a mindset of, I'm going to go into this conversation and I might not get exactly what I'm looking for, but I'm going to focus on what it is that I do want. I'm going to focus on the goal. I'm going to focus on the outcome. I'm going to focus on the positives, the opportunities. So when you're thinking about arguments or any kind of conflict, I want you to check your mindset first. If you're already going in it with a mindset of, oh my God, this is going to suck. I already know this is going to fight. They're not going to listen to me. They're going to shut me down. I'm so angry that I don't want to listen to them. I don't care what they have to say. I just need them to hear me. Can you hear how you're setting yourself up for losing your shit or looking like a jerk? If you're saying, I don't care about their thoughts or feelings, I just want to be heard, or I'm so angry I could spit nails right now, you're probably going to lose your shit. So check in with your mindset. That's the very first thing I think of. And I want you to just take a moment and think about people in your life that it's like you know them for a particular mindset. Because here's the thing. When a mindset becomes a habit, it becomes about who you are. People know you for that, right? Like so many people talk to me and they'll make comments to me about like, Robyn, you make relationships sound like rainbows and butterflies all the time. Like that's just the way you make it sound. You must be really positive about love. It's like, here, I'm the first one to say we make mistakes. Love sucks sometimes. Marriage is really, really hard sometimes. However, the opportunity to have epic relationships and to have deep connection and be heard and loved and cherished by your partner, that is what fires me up because I know that's possible. So I want you to think about people in your life for a moment. Is there someone who like a yoga instructor or something at a yoga studio you go to that they're just so peaceful all the time? Like not just when they're instructing, but maybe you ran into them like at the grocery store or something, or you've talked to them after you've gotten out of class and they just have this aura about them. I feel like we all know someone like that, right? It's a mindset. It starts with a mindset. People can't walk through life with a certain set of beliefs that don't impact the way they behave. It's just the facts. We have certain beliefs that directly impact the way we behave. So think about, for those of you who have kids and you're ever having to, volunteer in the classroom, or you've been around other parents that volunteer in the classroom, like, have you ever noticed that one parent, maybe that mom, that just seems so patient and so loving with all the kids in the class? That's a mindset thing. She probably loses her shit now and then, but the fact is, it's a mindset. It really does guide the way you show up. So that's the first thing, is I really want you to be in check of your mindset. And if you find that you're going into a conversation, conflict, argument, whatever, and you're seething, I need you, I beg you, and so does your partner, to take a break before that. Just pause, take some deep breaths. And if you need to, write out, what is your goal in this conversation? What is it that I'm hoping is an outcome? Am I hoping to gain a deeper understanding of my partner? Am I hoping that they gain a deeper understanding of me? Am I hoping, oops, I keep hitting this, sorry. Am I hoping that we change an understanding and then we come up with a new way to do something? Right? So identify what your goal is, because oftentimes if you can kind of pop up into the logical part, the cognitive part of your brain, it rips you out of the emotion part, and you have a less chance of losing your shit in an argument, and you have a higher probability of staying on task and being able to talk and think logically through whatever it is you are wanting to talk about with your partner. So that's the first thing. Mindset. Check in with yourself. Are you open and willing to listen as well as share your thoughts? And the next thing I want to share with you about, this is where I want you to get a pen and paper or get something to write with, because I'm going to give you a formula on how to have a really productive conversation, an argument. So anytime I'm working with my clients, we really focus on language. We talk about the semantics, and it may sound silly, like, Robyn, why does it really matter if I use this word over that word? I'll tell you why. Our brains hear things and add meaning to them. Our brains interpret what they experience, and it is interpreting directly based on our experiences. So we add meaning to what we hear. Haven't you ever been in a conversation with someone that said, oh, but I didn't mean to do that. That's totally not what I meant. Those were not my intentions. We have to keep in mind that someone having their conversation with us has a completely different set of intentions and thoughts and values and ideas than we do. And very rarely is your partner on a mission to be a jerk or to be mean or to hurt you or to disrespect you. So please keep that in mind. So here's the formula. And I can tell you, if you start to use this on a regular basis, that you will never, ever lose your shit during an argument. Totally not true, by the way, but you will probably lose your shit a lot less often, or it will be a lot less intense. Check this out. The first thing is, I want you to share what it is that you're feeling with whoever it is you're talking to. Now, this can be pretty tough. I know a lot of people struggle with actually talking about their feelings. And it may sound, I'm sure you guys have seen, rom-coms where they're like, I feel like you're being a jerk. The I feel is a really great way to start out using this. I feel lonely. I feel disconnected. I feel ignored, right? These are all emotions. It doesn't have to stay so rigid and so precise, because you're going to get used to using these kinds of formulas and having a conversation this way with your partner. So you start to say things like, I'm really upset. You don't have to use the word I feel. And so it starts with I feel followed by an emotion. This is really important, you guys. And there's a big difference between an emotion and an idea or an opinion. Here's what it is. Have you ever heard someone say, well, I feel like you're just not listening to me? If someone says I feel followed by the word like, or followed by the word that. I feel that. That's a thought. That's an idea. That's an opinion. And when we hear an idea, a thought, or an opinion, we start gathering information. We start thinking about our opinions in the form of a rebuttal. Oh, it's time to debate. Great, let's have this conversation. But if you use an actual emotion word, your brain actually leans in a little bit. There's concern, there's intrigue, it gets curious. Oh, I wonder why it is you feel that way. What is it about what just happened? Or what is it about what's going on in our lives that you feel this certain way? So it opens up the mind to receive more information. So going back to the formula, it's I feel followed by an emotion. When, and then you describe the situation. You do not describe your partner. This is where so many people get this wrong. Here's what not to do. I feel so angry because you are late all the time. Okay. Not the right thing to do. We're talking about a situation. You can say, I feel really frustrated because when we make these plans, something gets in the way and they don't follow through the way we need them to. Or I get really frustrated when things fall through and we're not on time. Right? So you're explaining the situation. Using the word we actually really helps someone stay engaged to the conversation. Think about the last time you heard the word you come from someone when they were trying to get a point across. Our brains don't like that at all. Our brains hear the word you and it's like, what? It's like I'm putting on my boxing gloves. I'm ready for a fight. What? Bring it on. You're totally attacking me. It sees it as an attack. It sees it as a criticism. But if you just describe the situation, again, there's nothing to get defensive about. So it's I feel followed by an emotion, when, describe the situation. And then here's the last thing that most couples forget when they're having an argument. And this is usually why people lose their shit or they sound like a jerk. We forget to follow up how we're feeling about a situation with a request. It's like, okay, you've told me a feeling, you've described the situation, but what do you want? What needs to happen? So here's a really great example, because the way you ask and make the request is key here. So here's a great example. I feel really lonely because I've been having dinner by myself the last couple nights this week due to work schedules. It would be really great if we could set aside one night next week where you're home before 6 o'clock and we can spend time together. What do we need to do to make that happen? See how that request is very specific, and it's also opening up for more dialogue. It's asking, how do we make this happen? What do we do? Right? It's what can we do to make this happen? And it's very non-threatening. It's an invitation. Your partner will not see you as a jerk. More than likely, you won't lose your shit because it's facilitating a conversation, even if it's an argument, even if it gets heated. So talk to me, you guys. Does this feel helpful? I know that this may be something people have heard before. This may be brand spanking new to some of you. Put some comments in there. Let me know if this is something that you feel confident in trying. If you need some more examples, I can definitely do that. This is something called complaining without blame. Oh, yay. Yes, it's helpful. Okay, good. Oh, I want to make sure I'm saying your name wrong. I'm not sure if it's Deneen or, oh, I'm glad it's really helpful. It's new. It's new for some people. Some people have heard it before. Some people need a refresher. So here's another example. Because think about when you work really hard to do something. And maybe your partner isn't respecting it or just isn't noticing or is completely inadvertently not taking advantage of, but they're just not really giving you the feedback or the support that you need to show that they appreciate, that's the word I was looking for, that they appreciate your work. So say you worked all day and then you came home and you've been cleaning the house and your partner walks in drops their stuff, plops down on the couch, kicks off their shoes, and you feel your blood start to boil. Has this ever happened? Like, oh my gosh, I've been cleaning. You just left your stuff everywhere. How do you not notice? How do I not get a thank you? And that's how you pronounce your name. Yay, Deneen. So here's a way that you could address that. That is complaining without blaming your partner. You are not losing your shit, and they're not going to see you as a jerk. You're just trying to get a need of yours met. So you can say something like, I'm feeling really frustrated because when I've been cleaning all day and then shoes are left in the middle of the room and bags are dropped and just left there for a couple days, it's super frustrating because I've been working all day cleaning. It'd be really helpful going forward if you could take your shoes off at the door and I can help put your bags, in the closet. What do we need to do to make that happen? So again, you're disarming whoever's on the other end. You're letting them know how you feel about something. You're letting them know what the situation is. You're even letting them know why you're feeling frustrated. But you're doing it in a way that there's no attack, there's no disrespect, you're not losing your shit. And they can hear you. You're opening up the conversation. That's what's key here, you guys, is even when you're having an argument, there's got to be room for conversation. Going back to the mindset thing, I always talk about the mindset having the 3 G's of mindset. Have you guys heard about this? I don't know. I feel like I just made it up. But when you're checking in with yourself before you start a conversation, a possible argument, I want you to remind yourself of the 3 G's. It's grace, generosity, and gratitude, which is before we even get started, I want to remind myself to offer up my partner generosity and grace, which is if they mess up, can I keep in mind that they love me? They don't want to hurt me. They don't want to piss me off. They don't want me losing my shit. They don't want to argue. But can I grant them grace and generosity? Can I give them the benefit of the doubt that because they are engaging in this conversation, something about it is important to them? Can I do that? And then gratitude. What is it that I can appreciate about my partner right now? One thing, first thing that comes to mind. I just appreciate that they came home and were willing to have this conversation. I appreciate that they put their phone down long enough and looked me in the eyes and we could talk about this. I appreciate how every single day they get up and they go to work, right? So it's like, can you prime yourself to have the mindset necessary to engage with your partner without losing your shit or without disrespecting them and being a jerk? So there you have it, you guys. We're right at 12:30. Holy smokes. I was going to have one of my colleagues pop in today. She wasn't able to make it, but don't you worry. Coming up in the weeks ahead for these midday love breaks, I'm going to be inviting other experts on the line because, like I said, I don't have all the answers. I've got a lot of them, but not all of them. But I'm going to be inviting people in to join us and to give their spin and their ideas about what works and their practices in their lives and what they know clinically works. And you know me, I'm a big brain geek. I love the neuroscience behind it, and I love teaching about why it is we do what we do and how you can change it if you want to. So you guys, I'm Robyn D'Angelo. I'm your host of your Midday Love Break every Wednesday at noon Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern. I hope you guys put this on your calendars and join me every week so that you can truly learn how to master the messiness of couplehood and create your most epic relationship. I also want to invite everyone, check out my website if you have a moment, www.thehappycoupleexpert.com. I have a free gift on there for everyone who wants to sign up and join my email list. I send out invites. I am giving you guys tips and tools and strategies on how to create your most epic relationship. It's free. I send those out about once a week. And I'm also telling you guys about events that are coming up. Yes, I'm in Southern California, but I also offer events that people from all over the United States come over my way, because how would you not want to come to the West Coast and enjoy Laguna Beach? So I offer couples retreats and intensives, and so I just want you guys to stay in touch be in my community of love geeks so that you are gaining all the tools necessary to create your most epic relationship that lasts. All right, you guys, I can't wait to see you again next week for another edition of your midday love break. Big love. Talk to you guys again soon. Bye.